Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving straight into Chadi Ibrahim's Human 2.0, winning with AI while becoming your best self.
Hmm.
At its heart, this is really about how we make AI a powerful partner
Yeah,
without losing what makes us essentially human.
exactly. And the book tackles a question I think a lot of you listening are probably thinking about. How do we actually harness this incredible potential of AI
Right.
while, really thriving as individuals? It's about more than just using the latest gadget. It's about evolving ourselves in this new era.
And that's what makes this so vital for you, the learner. Forget just understanding the tech side. We're here to pull out, actionable insights.
Hmm.
Think about cutting through all the noise, figuring out what really matters in an AI world, and ultimately succeeding on your own terms.
What really struck me straight away about Ibrahim's work is its balance. It's quite refreshing, actually.
How so?
Well, it avoids the extremes, It's
Yeah.
not all doom and gloom fear-mongering.
Right, the robots are taking over stuff.
Exactly. Nor is it those like get rich quick AI schemes. Instead, it gives you this grounded, thoughtful roadmap for navigating what's happening.
It really does. And you get that core philosophy right from the dedication, don't you?
Oh, yeah. To those who refuse to be defined by algorithms
Who seek meaning over metrics.
and who believe that the soul still matters in a world run by code. And that really sets the tone, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So let's jump into part one. Welcome to the Age of Intelligence.
Okay.
He kicks off with this idea of a fundamental shift. It's an intelligence revolution, he says, not just technological.
That's a key distinction.
Yeah.
The old idea that just having raw brain power is the ultimate advantage. That's being rewritten.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
So just being the smartest person in the room, that's not the key anymore.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, AI can process information, do calculations at speeds and scales that just dwarf what we can do.
Right.
The new advantage, as Ibrahim puts it, is more about augmented intelligence. It's that powerful mix of your unique human skills with AI's processing power.
So it's like a partnership.
Exactly. He mentions top performers are already using AI to do stuff in an hour that used to take like a whole day.
Wow. That is a game changer. So how does he define AI then? He keeps it pretty simple, yeah.
He does. Very straightforward. Basically, software that learns from data, not just following pre-programmed rules.
Okay.
And he gives us three helpful ways to kind of grasp it. The mimic,
Right, that learns patterns to make stuff like text or images.
yeah. Then the pattern detective, which
Yeah.
finds trends in like complex data.
Mm-hmm.
And the autopilot, which is great for handling those repetitive tasks.
The mimic, pattern detective, autopilot, that makes it much clearer, actually. Demystifies it a bit.
And the really critical point he makes is that AI works on probabilities. It doesn't think or have consciousness like we do.
So when it writes an article, it's just predicting the next word,
Mhm.
basically, based on tons of text it's seen.
Exactly. It's predicting the most likely sequence. That's a super important distinction. Helps us see the power, but also the limits.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So he then gives a quick history, right? Starting with the early dream.
Yep, back in the mid-20th century. Think Turing test, the term artificial intelligence being coined. ELIZA, the early chatbot.
But they hit limits, yeah. Weak computers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not enough computing power, which led to the AI winter 80s, 90s.
Right, the AI winter, I remember hearing about that. Funding kind of dried up because the hype didn't match reality.
Pretty much IBM's Deep Blue beating Kasparov at chess was big, but seen as a narrow, specific application.
But then came the rebirth in the 2010s. What sparks that?
It was like a perfect storm. Three things came together. First, powerful, cheap computer chips, actually thanks largely to the gaming industry.
Oh, interesting.
Second, this massive explosion of data from, social media, smartphones, everything online.
Fuel for the learning.
Exactly. And third, big breakthroughs in neural networks, those systems kind of inspired by how our brains work.
And that led to things we use now, like Siri.
Yep, Siri in 2011, AlphaGo beating the Go champion in 2016.
And GPT-3 in 2020, which really showed off the language capabilities.
Right. It's amazing how fast things move then.
So looking ahead, the next 5 years or so, what does Ibrahim see coming? Language AI getting better.
Much better. Things like GPT-5 and beyond understanding context, nuance, even humor, much more deeply.
Then the impact of that.
Huge. Personalized tutors, instant
Mhm.
translation that actually works well, automating a ton of document work in law, admin, stuff like that.
Okay. And he talks about the automation wave too, right? Which jobs are changing fastest?
Yeah, he flags jobs with routine tasks, predictable patterns, think basic coding, data entry as higher risk for automation.
Compared to
compared to roles needing uniquely human skills, critical judgment, ethics, emotional intelligence, like, say, a therapist or a complex strategist.
So the survival strategy isn't trying to outcompute the AI.
No, definitely not.
It's about cultivating those AI-proof skills, the human stuff, and learning to work with the AI.
Precisely.
Gotcha.
Collaborate, don't compete head-on.
And then there's robotics meeting AI, Tesla Optimus, AI Surgeon.
Yes, self-driving cars progressing. He sees significant job automation there, definitely. But also, he predicts totally new job categories emerging, things we can't even imagine right now.
It's fascinating and kind of, yeah, a bit unsettling too. It's easy to forget how much AI is already part of our lives, isn't it?
Totally. The stuff on your phone, photo features, predictive text, social media feeds, TikTok, Instagram, those are pure algorithms.
Netflix recommendations, Amazon suggestions, even banks use it behind the scenes, often invisible.
Exactly. So, Ibrahim's bottom line for you, the learner, is this. AI can seriously amplify your potential. Big upside. But it's also disrupting things, especially those middle-skill jobs. And it can be dangerous if we don't understand it, like biases baked into the data it learns from.
So what should people do now?
He suggests 3 immediate actions. 1, get your hands dirty.
Yeah.
Experiment with AI tools, see what they can do.
Okay.
2, do an honest skills audit. Where are you strong in those human skills? Where might AI impact your field?
Makes sense.
And 3, just commit to staying informed. This stuff is moving fast.
Very practical advice. Okay, moving into part 2, mindset and mission. Here, Ibrahim shifts focus, right? From the tech outside to our inner world.
Yes, this is a really key pivot. He argues our mindset is actually more critical than the specific tools we use. That's what's going to determine success.
Interesting. So what kind of mindset shifts are needed?
He highlights 3 main ones. First, moving from scarcity to leverage. Seeing AI not as a threat, but as a way to amplify your own efforts.
Okay, leverage.
Second, shifting from just consuming information to actively creating, using AI to build, to innovate.
Consumption to creation. Got it.
And third, moving from fear to mastery, thinking of AI as like a teammate, not an adversary.
I like that AI is the ultimate teammate, and chapter 3 then digs into rethinking success, pushing beyond just money.
Right. He asks why that wealth-only focus often fails us.
And why does he think it's failing, especially now with AI?
Well, a few reasons. There's the whole diminishing returns thing. More money doesn't always equal more happiness after a point.
We've heard that before.
There's the comparison trap, always looking at what others have. And crucially, while AI might make getting money easier for some, it doesn't automatically give you meaning or fulfillment. That can actually become harder to find.
Right. He shares an anecdote, doesn't he, about someone in crypto.
Yeah, a guy, Mike, who made a lot in crypto but ended up totally burnt out, feeling empty. A cautionary tale.
So what's Ibrahim's alternative? What's real success look like?
He proposes this holistic 6-dimension model. It's much broader.
6 dimensions. Okay, what are they?
Financial well-being, but defined by your freedom number, what you need to live the life you want, not just endless accumulation.
Okay, freedom number. Makes sense.
Then physical vitality, energy, health, emotional intelligence, EQ, self-awareness, empathy, mental clarity, focus, sharp thinking, relational depth, the quality of your connections, and finally, spiritual alignment, your sense of purpose, your why.
Wow. That's, yeah, much more comprehensive. Financial, physical, emotional, mental, relational, spiritual.
Exactly. And he encourages you to actually, rate yourself on these, see where you might be out of balance.
That definitely makes you stop and think. Are you maybe sacrificing your health or relationships for, say, the financial part?
Totally. And he backs it up with these success stories that actually matter, examples of people finding that balance.
Like the AI consultant who runs marathons.
Yeah, or the startup founder who makes sure they have device-free family time. People integrating different dimensions.
And instead of just tracking dollars, he suggests a new success scorecard.
Right. Tracking things like your energy levels, how many meaningful conversations you had, time and flow state, savings rate, even screen-free time.
Little things that add up to a richer life.
Yeah, and he even suggests using AI, like reminders, to help you check in on these non-financial metrics.
But with a caution, right? Don't just outsource self-awareness.
Absolutely. Use AI as a tool for reflection, not a replacement of it. And he wraps up with a practical 7-day balance challenge to get you started.
Okay, cool. Chapter 4 then tackles identity. Identity in the AI era. Big question. Who are you when machines can do everything?
It's a huge question, and Ibrahim's answer is really interesting. He argues your core values become your most durable advantage, maybe even more than specific skills,
Values over skills. Why?
because so many technical skills are being automated, or the shark life is getting shorter. But things like moral reasoning,
Like deciding on safety protocols in a factory example he uses.
exactly, or contextual wisdom, that deep understanding from experience, like grandmother's advice he mentions, AI can't replicate that.
Right. And purpose-driven creativity.
Yeah, innovating based on meaning, not just data. These uniquely human things become more valuable.
He suggests a skills versus values audit too.
Yeah.
Comparing what you do with what you believe.
Yeah, finding that intersection.
Yeah.
And he introduces the Human Preservation Toolkit, practical ways to stay grounded.
Okay, tell us about that toolkit. What's in it?
Three main things. The Attention Fortress method, basically. Creating tech-free zones and times for deep work or reflection.
Like an analog zone. I like that.
Then the Identity Anchoring practice. Doing regular things that connect you to yourself. Cooking, nature, writing by hand, whatever works for you.
Rituals.
Yeah, grounding rituals. And the values-first productivity system. Consciously deciding what not to automate, what needs that human touch based on your values.
Being intentional about automation, not just automating everything possible.
Exactly. And he suggests journaling, too, with specific prompts for morning and evening, using his AI human journaling framework.
Even using voice-to-text AI to capture raw thoughts.
Yeah, get it out unfiltered. He also talks about building an identity portfolio,
What's that involve?
tracking your experience assets, defining your ethical boundaries like I will never automate relationship building or moral decisions,
Setting clear lines.
and identifying your human signature skills, what really makes you, you. He gives a litmus test for when to automate and when not to, warning against automating things like relationship care or outsourcing core identity stuff.
Sounds critical. And it leads to a 21-day identity challenge.
Yeah, helping you build awareness and ultimately craft your human edge statement.
Moving on to Chapter 5, Mental Clarity and Focus. This feels incredibly relevant, the attention crisis he talks about.
Oh, absolutely. He hits on shrinking attention spans, the cost of constantly switching tasks. It's real.
But he also sees a role for AI in helping with focus, the AI-assisted mind.
Yeah, it's a bit of a paradox. The tech that distracts can also help. AI summarizers to cut through info overload, scheduling tools to reduce decision fatigue, focus apps.
He offers the 3M framework for clarity. What are the
And mindfulness, movement, and mission.
Okay.
Mindfulness, the benefits of meditation, maybe using AI tools like Headspace or even ChatGPT as a sort of mindfulness buddy.
Interesting. Move.
Physical exercise. It's huge impact on the brain. Tech like Whoop or VR Fitness can help track or motivate.
And mission.
Having that clear sense of purpose, how it sharpens focus. AI tools like Notion AI or even Midjourney for visualization can help clarify your mission.
And the digital detox paradox. It's
Yeah.
not about quitting tech entirely.
No, it's about strategic engagement. He suggests a tiered system, red, yellow, green zones, for different levels of tech use. Not total abstinence, but mindful use.
Right. And he links sleep to focus too.
Absolutely critical. Mentions AI sleep tech like Aura Ring, Sleep Cycle, even using AI to analyze your sleep journal. It all feeds into focus. And there's a 30-day Focus Accelerator Challenge, too.
Okay, shifting gears to part 3, habits of the future proof. This is about practice, right?
Yeah.
Building the right routines.
Exactly, moving from just reacting to proactively building a life that drives change. Micro habits for macro impact, as he puts it.
Chapter 6 is productivity superpowers with AI. Doing what matters, but better.
Yeah, first step is designing your system. Choosing a core tool like Notion, ClickUp, Obsidian, whatever works for you, and really committing to it.
And then using AI strategically within that system.
Right. Automate the boring, amplify the important. He gives examples: AI for email sorting, drafting content outlines, summarizing meeting notes.
But with a key rule.
Yes. Understand the task manually first. Don't just automate blindly. Then use AI for smart prioritization, pulling insights from knowledge, even supporting decisions.
He talks about daily and weekly planning systems too, boosted by AI.
Morning rituals with AI prompts, weekly reviews where AI helps summarize accomplishments, analyze what worked, set goals.
And building an AI-powered dashboard to see it all.
Yeah, using tools like Notion or Obsidian to create that central hub. He gives a great case study of Sarah, a freelance creative, integrating these tools.
Nice. Chapter 7 then moves to learning. Learn anything fast. Super important skill now.
Crucial. Lifelong learning isn't optional anymore. He talks about AI tutors like Conmigo or just using ChatGPT smartly for personalized learning.
And he lays out 5 principles for fast learning.
Yep. Principle 1, mastery over hustle. Go deep on fewer things, don't just skim the surface.
Quality over quantity.
Exactly. Principle 2, spaced repetition and memory engineering. Using tools like Anki or AI-generated flashcards to lock learning in.
Makes sense. Principle 3.
Habit stacking and atomic learning. Link new learning to existing habits, break it down into tiny steps.
Principle 4.
Active recall and Socratic dialogue. Test yourself constantly, explain concepts, even use ChatGPT to debate ideas with you.
Actively engaging, not passive consumption.
Right. And principle 5, create to learn. Make something with the knowledge, a mind map, a blog post, or video. AI can help with visuals here too.
Solid principles.
Yeah.
And he suggests building an AI-powered learning lab.
Yeah, a system with daily and weekly routines. And he stresses focus environment, Pomodoro technique, AI blockers learn without burning out. Mastery is about consistency.
Okay, Chapter 8 focuses on emotional intelligence, EQ. He calls it the new superpower.
He really emphasizes EQ over IQ in this new era. Breaks it down into the 5 domains: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, social skills.
And AI can help develop EQ. Seems counterintuitive.
It does, but he suggests tools like Replica for emotional companionship practice or Reflectly for guided emotional journaling, kind of like an AI self-coaching companion.
But with cautions, obviously.
Big cautions. It's a supplement, not a replacement for real human interaction and self-work. He stresses that listening is the EQ skill AI absolutely cannot replace.
Good point.
He outlines daily EQ practices, suggests AI tools to support them, but also emphasizes social practices, deep conversations, empathy exercises. For leaders, he says, it's people over process now more than ever. And EQ is learnable.
So emotional maturity equals real freedom.
That's his frame, being calm, truthful, connected, heart-led. Upgrade empathy, awareness, listening.
Then Chapter 9 tackles relationships in this hyper-connected world. The paradox of connection.
Yeah, feeling lonely despite having hundreds of online friends. He argues deep connection beats wide connection. Every time.
Social media as noise, maybe?
He suggests it can be. Costs us attention, encourages shallowness, comparison. AI can even accelerate this.
So how do we fix it? From many connections to meaningful ones.
Focus on quality. Audit where your social energy goes. He asks tough questions about who really nourishes you.
And how is tech rewiring relationships?
He points out things like performance over presence, always feeling online, algorithmic bubbles limiting our perspectives, hyperstimulation making real-world interaction feel slow, even shallow intimacy.
Depressing stuff. What are the solutions?
Building real-world connection intentionally. Tech-free zones or times are huge. Planned intentional hangouts, not just passive scrolling. Setting digital boundaries. Practicing deep listening, really being present.
He brings in data, too, like the Harvard study.
Yeah, the famous Grant study showing relationships are the #1 factor for long-term happiness and the current loneliness epidemic. It underscores the need to prioritize real connection.
Redefining friendship, love, community, moving from convenience to commitment.
Exactly. Depth over novelty. Creating micro-communities. And again, AI can assist tools for scheduling, remembering details, but it can't replace the human element. Don't just connect, commit.
Okay, final section, part 4. Building a future worth living. Shifting the question.
Yeah, from what can AI do for me to what kind of life do I want to create with it? Big picture stuff.
Chapter 10 is meaning over metrics. Purpose over dashboards.
He brings in Viktor Frankl, meaning is the primary human drive, and Ikigai, the Japanese concept.
That intersection of what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for.
Exactly. He provides frameworks, suggests using AI journaling to explore these, create a life map, but the focus is authentic alignment, finding your unique contribution, often through serving others.
Meaning becomes the ultimate metric.
Right. Let analytics serve purpose, not the other way around.
Chapter 11 is about resilience in an automated world, adapting, bouncing back.
Super important. He offers practical mental health checklists, daily, weekly check-ins on mood, sleep, connection. AI can help track or prompt these.
And he talks about anchors, stoicism, faith, grit.
Yeah, drawing on timeless wisdom. Stoic practices like focusing on what you control. Faith as a compass. Grit, that perseverance for long-term goals. These provide stability in turbulent times.
He has a bounce-back blueprint, too.
Yeah, a 5-step process. Recognize the dip, reframe the narrative, reconnect with your anchors, rebuild your systems, habits, tools, and reignite your why.
Practical steps for recovery.
But he stresses real resilience is human. AI supports you take charge. It's about getting back up, drawing on that irreplaceable emotional depth and spiritual strength.
And the final chapter, 12, designing your human 2.0 life, pulling it all together.
Yeah, creating your personal life dashboard,
Hmm.
tracking health, wealth, wisdom goals using aligned tools, and developing your personal operating system, or POS.
POS.
Your core habit stack, your aligned tools, Notion, ChatGPT for soul awareness, etc. And crucially, your weekly review ritual, reflecting, adjusting, planning, maybe even seeing the Holy Spirit as a mentor, which reflects his background.
And a final 30-day challenge to integrate it all.
Yep, the Human 2.0 Challenge. Awareness, system setup, serving others, integration. Goal is living, integrated, spiritually aligned, AI empowered.
He ends with some powerful concluding messages, right? Messages to inspire.
Really powerful. Things like, you weren't born to be replaced by machines. You were born to rise with them. Reclaiming wisdom over mere information. Choosing authenticity over algorithms. Holding on to values.
And the Mento Spirit way,
Yeah.
letting purpose lead technology.
Yeah, praying before planning, listening before launching, serving before scaling. Aligning tech use with a deeper calling. It's a strong call to action.
And for those interested, the book does give background on the author, Chadi Ibrahim.
It does. His mix of pastoral care, education, philosophy, theology, it all comes through in the book's balanced, human-centric perspective.
So boiling it all down, this deep dive into Human 2.0, what's the core takeaway?
I think it's that the path forward isn't choosing technology or humanity. It's about smart integration. Using AI intentionally to boost our potential while actively strengthening our human core, our mindset, values, relationships, our sense of purpose.
Exactly. And hopefully for you, the learner, this gives you a clearer framework, not just for navigating the AI era, but really thriving in it with more clarity, more intention.
And maybe a renewed sense of meaning, too.
Definitely.
We'd really encourage you to think about the principles we discussed. Which ones hit home for you? How could you start putting even one into practice?
Yeah, start small. And maybe as a final thought to leave you with,
Mm-hmm.
in a world that's going to be increasingly shaped by algorithms, what unique, irreplaceable part of your humanity are you going to consciously cultivate and share? Something to think about.
Definitely.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.